Let's talk for a moment about truth. That may seem like a pretty heavy topic for PHP, but understanding how PHP handles questions of truth or falsehood is important to understanding how you can make it do interesting things in terms of a process called branching, making decisions, basically. So let's take a quick look. I've created a very short PHP document here. I've saved it as test PHP. It's a basic HTML document. Right at the beginning of the body, I have it start PHP and store some things in some variables. So inside a variable called something, I've stored the string hi, and inside a string called nothing, I've stored a blank sort of thing. And then I have paragraphs, test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. And inside of each of those, I have it echoing something. So when I echo 5 plus 4, you're going to guess what that is pretty quickly. It'll print 9 to the screen. But I'm not sure if you know or if I know what will happen if you do 5 more than 4, because that doesn't come up with a number, right? That's true or false. And in this case, yes, 5 is more than 4. And in this case, it's false. 5 is not less than 4. And then we have something and nothing. And we know what that'll do. It'll print hi or it'll print nothing, right? So let's go ahead and save this. File save. Let's go ahead and upload it to our server. And let's refresh here. And there it is, test PHP. All right, so let's look back at these. We've got 9. Test 1 is 9, as we predicted, 5 plus 4. 5 more than 4 comes up with 1. And the reason for that is that PHP, like most programming languages, considers any non-null answer to be true. So in this case, because it didn't know what to produce for true, it just produces 1. It's happy with binaries, so it says, okay, it's not 0, it's 1. So we might expect that 5 less than 4 would produce 0, but it doesn't. It just produces, again, this idea of null. It produces nothing. So for PHP, nothingness is the same as falsehood, and somethingness is the same as truth. So in fact, although this produces hi and this produces nothing, it kind of produces true and false in some sense. So to see what that means, we're going to introduce a new statement, which is the if statement, which is very important to every language. It's in almost every programming language, at least every procedural programming language. And we'll take out all of these things. Instead of echoing things, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use an if statement. So let's start with the test case 1. We'll start PHP, and we'll move down to here. I'm going to erase those for now. And we'll do the statement if, that we have parentheses. This is what we're going to test, and we'll say echo yes, this is true. All right, so what this says is if the thing inside these parentheses is true, then say this, and then in the next line we're going to say else echo no, this is false. All right, so now we have a test there. I'm going to do several of these. I haven't put in what we're checking yet, but we'll go ahead and do that again and again and again and again. And we'll do test 2. I don't know if we'll need all of these. Test 3, test 4, and test 5. So on the first one, we're going to do 5 plus 4. So if 5 plus 4, which is kind of a silly question, because 5 plus 4 is 9, right? So it's not true or false, but it's gonna I predict, come out with true. If 5, these are much more like regular if statements. If 5 is less than 4, if 4 is less than 5. I'm gonna do something. We'll do this real quick. If something, and then we're gonna do another one. Instead of doing the nothing one, we're gonna do this. If something equals by. Okay, so we know that something equals hi, not by, right? But what this asks is if something equals by. Note that there's 2 equal signs here. Why? Because up here, we know that equal signs put something in a variable. To test whether something is in a variable, to see whether 2 things are equal, you have to do 2 equal signs. Very common to forget this and put a single equal sign, but you must have 2 equal signs when it's inside an if statement. That's probably the best way to remember it. I'm going to save it. I'm going to upload it again. I'm going to say yes, I want to overwrite it. And then I'll go ahead and refresh it here. So we have test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have these. So we have Is 1 true? Yes, 5 plus 9 is true. 5 plus 4 is true. I know that's strange. If 5 is more than 4, yes, this is true. If 5 is less than 4, no, this is false, right? 5 is not less than 4. So it goes to else and echoes this is false. If something, yes, because there's something in something. Something is not null. If something equals by, no, it doesn't equal by, so it's false. So there's a basic structure. We'll talk a little bit more as we go on about how we use these effectively.